The wreckage burned against the violet sky of Draco Prime, metal twisted into grotesque sculptures of destruction. Commander Zixter circled the crash site on leathery wings, his massive form casting shadows across the smoking debris. The Dracarian patrol had detected the human vessel's descent 3 solar cycles ago, but protocol demanded investigation only after the flames died. Humans, the galaxy's newest spacefaring species. Fragile, short-lived, yet somehow they had spread across 12 systems in less than a century. The Dracarian Empire had watched with bemused interest as these creatures ventured into the void with their primitive fusion drives and laughable life support systems. Thor landed with practiced grace, his claws gouging marks in the scorched earth. His scales, deep crimson edged with gold, reflected the dying firelight. At 300 solar cycles old, he had seen countless crashes, salvaged hundreds of vessels. This would be routine, except it wasn't. The crying started as he approached the main hull breach, not the automated distress beacon he expected, but something organic, something impossible. Zixter's eyes narrowed, ancient instincts flaring. He moved through the wreckage carefully, his bulk somehow graceful despite the confined space. There, in what remained of the crew quarters, lay a human infant. The child couldn't have been more than a standard cycle old, wrapped in synthetic cloth that bore scorch marks. Around it lay 3 adults, their bodies arranged protectively even in death. They had given everything in those final moments to shield this small, helpless creature. The baby's cries pierced the air, weak but persistent. Zixter stood frozen, his predatory mind warring with something deeper, something primal. In Dracarian culture, hatchlings were sacred. The survival of the young superseded all other laws, even during the ancient clan wars. But this wasn't a hatchling. This was human. He should report this. Command would send a recovery team. The human authorities would be notified. Protocol was clear. The baby's cries grew weaker. Zixter's massive head lowered, golden eyes studying the tiny form. The child's face was red, tear-streaked, one small fist waving aimlessly in the air. So fragile, so impossibly small. How did humans survive their own infancy? They had no scales, no claws, no natural defenses whatsoever. His talon, each one capable of rending steel, extended with infinite care. The baby's tiny hand grasped his claw, fingers barely wrapping around the thick, scaled digit. The crying stopped. The child looked up at him with eyes the color of Earth's oceans, a world Zixter had only seen in diplomatic briefings. Those eyes held no fear, only need, only trust. This is foolish, Zixter thought. I am a warrior of the Empire. I have led fleets into battle. I have negotiated treaties with species across the spiral arm. The baby made a small sound, something between a whimper and a coo. Protocols exist for reasons, his logical mind insisted. I cannot care for a human infant. I know nothing of their biology, their needs. But he didn't move. Couldn't move when the recovery team arrived 6 solar hours later. They found Commander Zixter coiled protectively around the crash site. The human infant cradled against his chest, kept warm by the natural heat of his scales. He had fashioned a crude shelter from the whole wreckage and used emergency rations he'd salvaged to feed the child. Commander, Captain Relthan called out cautiously. We received your delayed report. The human embassy has been contacted. No. Zixter's voice rumbled like distant thunder. This hatchling stays with me. The recovery team exchanged uncertain glances. Relthan took a careful step forward. Commander, with respect, humans must raise their own young. We cannot. Can you tell me the regulations regarding orphaned hatchlings found on Dracarian soil? Zixter's eyes blazed. The Finder's Law grants custody until proper clan can be established, Relthan recited. But Commander, this isn't a hatchling, it's a hatchling. Zixter's tone left no room for argument. The human parents died protecting this child. I witnessed their sacrifice. By the old codes, by the laws that predate the Empire itself, I claim right of guardian until her people come for her. Relthan blinked as Zixter looked down at the sleeping infant, now peaceful in his protective embrace. Her name was in the ship's logs. Myra Chen, daughter of Dr. James Chen and Dr. Sarah Chen, xenobiologists traveling to Outpost Kepler. The name felt strange on his tongue, but right somehow. 3 standard days passed before human representatives arrived. Ambassador Torres approached the temporary habitat Zixter had established near the crash site with trepidation. The massive Dracarian hadn't moved except to gather supplies, refusing all orders to return to base. Commander Zixter Torres began carefully. I understand you've been caring for the child. I have. Zixter's wing curved protectively over the makeshift nest where Mira slept. We're grateful. Truly. But we have facilities. Trained caregivers. Can your facilities provide constant warmth regulation? Detection of threats from 3 kilometers distant. A guardian who sleeps in 4-hour cycles. Zixtha's voice was calm but unyielding. Torres hesitated. No, but your species sends infants into the void with only mechanical systems for protection. You trust your most precious cargo to machines that can fail. Zixtha's eyes gleamed. I do not fail. This is highly irregular. Ambassador Zixta said quietly, I have served the Empire for 2 centuries. I have earned the right to eccentricity. He paused, then added, and the human concept of adoption exists in your culture, does it not? Torres stared. You want to adopt her. I want to ensure she lives to choose her own path, whether that path leads back to humanity or… Zixta glanced at the sleeping child, .. elsewhere. In the end, bureaucracy bent to the reality of interspecies relations. The alliance between Drakarians and humans was too new, too valuable to risk over protocol, and perhaps, in the quiet spaces between diplomatic channels, there was acknowledgement of a deeper truth that protection of the young transcended species, that love required neither shared biology nor common language. Commander Zig, decorated warrior of the Drakarian Empire, became guardian to a human child named Myra Chen. The galaxy would watch their story unfold with wonder, but in that moment, as the dragon coiled around the infant beneath Draco Prime's violet sky, only one thing mattered. She was safe. She was protected. She was home.